movie. Now, let's go ahead and let's see. One note, that full moon you just had on the 25th was a biggie for Hawaii. And also for the United States of America's government, because it full moon hit the rising sign there, and I expect there's going to be some lunacy, some over-exaggerated emotion in the U.S., and things are going to happen. And we're about to have problems with other people, some of the people that are close to us. Well, let's check out the chart. Let's see what it's going to be like for you for the next 10 days. Mars is moving up to oppose Uranus. He'll get sharp and angry. Venus is opposing Uranus as you stand, and Pluto's still squaring it. But most of all, you know, it's only been about 9-10 days back from where you're at, if you're on the Thursday show, when Neptune stationed. Now, when Neptune stations, well, if it's hitting your chart bad, you spill things. Now, so far, I'm back here on the 6th of November, because November 5th is Guy Fawkes Day. And you didn't see any of that in the news. Marches all over the world. But I'm concerned more about Neptune and the water problems. And so far, all I've seen has happened in Hawaii on the 6th, which is very early in the difficult period, was a whale washed up on shore. They couldn't save it and had to put it away. But more than anything on the Big Island, because a lot of this stuff that I've been following is focused on the Big Island, we've got dengue fever. And it's getting worse. And that's certainly a Neptune thing. The health department is less than forthcoming about where the cases are and about real information on it. But that's classical for Neptune stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at this day by day. We're going to follow the moon as it moves around this pattern, and as it makes angles to the other planets, we have the mood of the times. Now, it's not your chart. Remember that. This is like the generic chart. You could have kind of the opposite effect. Anyway, if you're in a Thursday show, the moon's in Gemini. Not too bad, kind of social. And kind of freedom loving also. The Thursday show, you probably got a nice sextile to Uranus. Continues through Friday morning, the feeling of brotherhood and the union. And then the moon goes into Cancer here before lunch. And you start to feel more inspired, because here is a good Neptune thing. And Neptune just stopped 10 days ago. So when the moon trines Neptune, you could have some great music, some art, some religious revelation, some understanding of things unseen Friday night. This is late, 9-10 o'clock, Friday night, the 27th of November. Early Saturday morning, here we're talking 4 o'clock in the morning, though, there's a square to Mars. And here we're overprotective, angry, impatient, and we're going into a very tough Saturday. I mean, look at that. Here we've got the angriness starts early in the morning. Then there's a panic call here in the morning and the noontime, and with the opposition to Pluto. Then there's the moon squares Uranus. We feel alone and jittery, and the electronics are breaking down. And boy, that's one's catching me. Everything electrical is breaking in my house. Anyway, Saturday is a crazy day. There's a little brief respite from all of the tension and the angriness and the emergency, but it's brief. You know, that's probably around 9-10 o'clock Saturday night with a sextile to Jupiter. It's an option. But even if you did get some information that relieves some of your tension, you know, here's a square to Venus, and you're not going to get any rest Saturday night, so something's keeping you up. Sunday, you'll still be feeling it through the first 2/3 of the day while the moon's in Cancer. And then before dinner, it shifts into Leo. A fixed fire sign, that's Leo. I keep thinking about Anonymous again. One fellow had a sign up that said, "Behind the mask, we are you." Reminds me of the Mayan greeting, "I am another you." Anyway, if you go after Anonymous on the internet, they do a lot of interesting things. Sometimes they pick out real evil people, and other times, they just went after the KKK. And that was, kind of a neat thing. Anyway, I recommend it to you. If you're angry about what's going on in the world, check out Anonymous. And here's Sunday afternoon after 2 o'clock. It's about the middle of the day. The moon shifts into Leo. All the vibes change. And look at all the sextiles and trines here. All the blue stuff represents sextiles and trines. Ease. You get an easy plan starts in the morning with the moon trine Saturn. And then here's the sun and Mars. You can execute. Get out and get physical. It just happens very easily. Yeah. And here's Mercury. The kids are all happy. Everybody's communicating. And finally here Monday night, we have a nice trine to Uranus. And we all feel the brotherhood. What happened to the unions? Anyway, I see the bad guys are trying to demonize Anonymous. They're trying to demonize trade unions. They're trying to demonize Scientology. They're trying to demonize anytime people get together and express themselves freely. You get difficulties. Anyway, freedom. Yeah, common sense. Monday night, 9-10 o'clock, moon trines Uranus. Delightful. On the 1st of December, the moon's still in Leo. You should feel the brotherhood kind of all day, the individuality, common sense falls in line. And here Tuesday night, here's a nice sextile to Venus. There's a reward. There's some lovingness around here, some sweets. Hope you enjoy some of it. On Wednesday, it's a very different situation. The moon goes into Virgo, a mutable earth sign, and that's the position where it opposes Neptune. Neptune, and the square to Saturn. I noticed in my astrocartography that the period I just went through with Neptune was opposing, Saturn was on the bottom in the home, and it immediately got cold at night. And I said, it's going to be cold and dry on the home front, which kind of precludes a rain disaster for a little while. Not so on the November 25th lunation. Very different. So I know that you're in a situation now where you're going to have some water in places you don't want it. And maybe some oil, and maybe some chemicals. And maybe, the overzealous spraying for dengue fever mosquitoes. The spraying may be more injurious than the dengue fever mosquitoes. They don't go very far, The Aedes mosquito just goes, a few tens of yards from where it was born. The Anopheles is the larger striped mosquito, and it can travel miles, but the Aedes is, I think, the bad guy here. So it's very localized, and I think you should be treated like that. But here you are, having an emergency. It's the 2nd of December, and you're still wondering about, is the dam going to flood? Is it going to overspill the what's going on? It's confusing, and it's difficult. And if you smell bad smells and chemicals, go follow up on them. See what you can do to stop them. It's very frustrating. Here's the square to the sun Wednesday after dinner, and we're not getting anything done, and we've lost ambition, and we feel confused and feel kind of stuck. Yeah. Thursday morning, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, there's a moon trines Pluto, and we might discover some good stuff. I don't know. There's a square to Mercury. We're not able to talk about it Thursday morning at breakfast. But Thursday afternoon and evening, the moon goes by Jupiter here, and some truth and wisdom may come out, and flashes of insight, bolts of lightning from Jove, from Shock, the rain god. You know, Shazam! Oh, now I see it clear. That's Jupiter. So the moon going by Jupiter sometimes produces rain too, but by and large, you should have some insights Thursday night. Friday morning, while the moon's still in Virgo, it goes by the North Node, and that's around breakfast time or so, before breakfast, and everybody feels nurtured, and we feel like nurturing. It's a good time to take care of folks, because the moon shifts into Libra here, cardinal air sign, and you're back in emergency zone again. Friday night, there's a nice sextile to Saturn. That's around midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning. So we kind of got organized. But don't let your guard down, because here's your nasty Saturday again. And this Saturday on December 5th, you know, the moon's in the Mars zone. So there's a lot of activity and a lot of over-protectiveness. And it gets kind of out of hand and violent here Saturday afternoon. And here's a square to Pluto. The police aren't going to be any help. They're just going to get in the way and be a problem. And by the time you get to late Saturday night, midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, there's an opposition to Uranus. And it's not a good time to be a policeman. You know, keep your hand off that gun, Mr. Policeman. You got to handle this stuff with common sense. So Sunday morning, moon's still in Libra, and you're still going to be feeling angry and kind of in emergency, I'm sorry to say. And it won't be till the afternoon of Sunday, when the moon sextiles Mercury, you start talking it over and thinking it over, and when you're getting in close to the Venus zone, where people give up and relax and kick back, which actually happens Monday morning, but you'll feel it Sunday night here. And ooh, these Saturdays, huh? They're tough. Wow. Well, I've been going through a lot of old papers and things,